Hi, welcome to GrandLine Grinders, episode 38 of the podcast. And of course, we are back with our regular co host and going forward, your favorite anime villain. So today we're going to actually going to be talking about the thing that we mentioned last week that we never got around to. And we were just had such a long conversation that we just kind of lost track and didn't cover it. So we'll be talking about simultaneous releases, power rankings a little bit, and talking about meta, like what the meta might look like after EB03 release, with the power rankings, what decks we think could be pretty solid, and go from there. If you have time, we might cover some of the new OP15 spoilers, but we have a lot of topics to talk about. I highly doubt we're going to get to that point. Maybe that'll be covered next week. We will also probably will hopefully start talking about the EB03 list featuring what we think might be really good there. So next week we might be talking about Yellow Luffy because it gets Nami and Robin, etc. And actually look at their list from competitive Gum Gum. Um, and how are you doing this week?
I am good. I am good. Been, I don't want to say busy the last week, like no busier than usual. I live a pretty simple, pretty easy life, but a little busy, mainly just still trying to focus, practice, uh, going to Vegas for Nats on Wednesday. Nats is the 14th, so really just trying to dial in my matchup knowledge as best as I can before then, and just like pre-tournament jitters, pre-event jitters, trying to get rid of that shit and get ready to leave.
Yeah, and he prepared twice against me last week because we faced each other
Ah,
twice when I was on
I
when I was on
just
stream.
I
Um,
just sniped into the games. Honestly, I saw that you were streaming, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna run a game."
it's all good. I need to keep improving myself, of course, and getting myself repped up because I'm still waiting for a local regionals. I'm not sure when that actually starts. Is there usually a set time frame when they usually have them come out? Is it like right after Worlds?
Regionals? No, so we already had regionals announced for March. But we only had two events announced, and it was one in Southern California and then the other in Texas. So I don't know like your exact location, but those are the only regionals for March, and we haven't gotten more events past that. Well, we haven't got more regional events. I don't know if you heard of the Red Bull Double Dawn
Yes.
event.
Yep.
That's happening very heavily in like the Midwest and then like kind of scattered throughout the US, but I could not get into one of them. I tried when I was trying to get the event to load, my Bandai app would not load correctly. Wow, crazy. An issue with the Bandai app. And then when I tried to apply to the wait list for one of the two events in New York, both of which are 5+ hours from me because they're in New York City. The app just kept popping up like a server issue, so I couldn't even wait list on. By the time I was only like a minute after, it was like maybe I want to say they went live at 6. It was like 6:01 and 200 plus 160 plus people had already signed up for the event, or there's 64 people events, and when I looked the first time it was 160 applicants, so over 100 people on the wait list. And I've seen other posts where people showed pictures of their stores, and it was 300 plus people on the wait list for a 64-person event.
That's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
Speaking of tournaments, we technically ACG channel will be hosting its actual first one on Limitless TCG. The last one didn't fire. This one, hopefully, it does. It's next March, the first Thursday of March next month. If you're interested, the objective is to hopefully get to the point where if there's 25 people, we'll do a buy a box, or the winner gets a box. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. I'm gonna try to drop stuff in in the description here. That way you can maybe prep better. Because, I mean, the goal was to have a weekly tournament. So that way, then again, I guess not all of them are going to be standard. Some of them are going to be like vintage. So, which is going to be a little bit different. Because it'd be like every single card is unbanned except for one copy. So if it's banned, then it would be illegal for one copy. So you get one Gecko Moria. You would
Gotcha.
be able to play Law. And of course, that would mean Nami would be legal, so it would be a completely different meta. It'd be more competitive and be a lot faster, I assume, of an actual format. So we're gonna be trying that out and other stuff like that. So, but let's go ahead and I guess go right into the deck list. I mean the meta decks, and try to get through that before we can get into the tier ranking. Okay, so weirdly enough, Eggman did not update that. I'm assuming it's because of the Las Vegas thing. Maybe that's why they didn't update it this past week. So we're gonna have to take it straight from Discord, which is kind of weird. That happens like usually around, like I said, around the time that there's usually a huge event about ready to happen and fire off. Usually Eggman doesn't keep up that week, but
He is a busy guy.
yeah. So noticeable things: Ace taking over top slot.
Yeah,
Ace and
skyrocketed. Wasn't he only at like fourth last week?
I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he
I think
jumped a lot.
yeah, I think Luffy was third. Ace was fourth.
Yeah, I remember Emu being first. I don't think Mihawk was in the top.
No, wait. I think Ace was third. I think it was Emu, Luffy,
Luffy,
Ace,
Ace. I think you're right.
and then
I think you're
Doflamingo was
right.
fourth.
Yep.
So Dofi went down one slot. Boa was fifth. Mihawk skyrocketed up because I think he was at the lower half.
I think more people are learning to play Mihawk and they're realizing that's a very strong deck because green is stupid and it just stops you from playing the game.
Yeah, it's definitely my least favorite color, and which we'll see over the next couple of weeks when this win percentage keeps going up. Because I mean, the more this, more people get good with this deck, we should expect us to hit 50% and then keep going up and up and up. Which makes sense, I guess. I mean, going into this jungle meta, these two were the best decks in the format. And
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I remember a couple weeks ago on the podcast, we were talking and I mentioned that I strongly believe, and I still believe, Ace and Emu are probably the two strongest decks in the meta. Mihawk does seem really, really good though. It's improving crazy well. People are using cards that I hate, which means the deck is probably pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Mihawk or Green would ever adapt Hody Jones again.
So I was just talking to Fidelio, however you pronounce his name, because I'm stupid with phonetics. Shout out to the homie though. He was on stream yesterday, and I mentioned the same thing. It's crazy that Green doesn't run Hody anymore, but you just don't need it. You have a more consistent way to find like DMG or other stuff that makes it where your characters can't rest. Like 5-cost Perona makes it where 2 5-cost or lower can't be rested, so they can't block or attack or be rested to gain effects. And then they have the Mihawk that just stuns something every turn, or they have the Shanks that just rest something every turn. So you just have like better tools, or not even necessarily better tools, but more versatile tools.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right in that regard. That I don't think because I think Hody Jones is not slash.
No, I think he's
Maybe strike.
strike, maybe.
Yeah, so you can't get him off of a Perona, which you can
Nope.
get Deadman's game off of Perona.
Yep.
So
You also can find Mihawk and Shanks off of Perona because they're both slash.
yeah, I did find it a little interesting for a while. People were arguing back and forth. Is Mihawk better with or without Shanks? Some people were cutting him entirely. Some people were going up. It
I
was
do recall that being a conversation point. I don't think you should ever run less than two Shanks. It is like the strongest 7 Dawn turn that you can make. It is such an issue for your opponent. Like, unless you have a way to make it where the Shanks can't be rested, like, unless you're specifically playing green as well, and you make it where the Shanks can't be rested, that Shanks is annoying and it's a problem the whole time. It's just giving a minus 1k to everything. It's essentially giving you a 5k, like, buff out of your opponent's hand if they want to, like, protect their characters.
now I do kind of wonder maybe the reason why Ace is getting first place now is because before, I mean, look at the actual game percentage here. These two here, I mean, they're kind of lower, way lower than Mihawk and other
Yeah,
decks like Luffy. I wonder if it's because at the time they were testing these two decks out and getting a feel on them, but now that it's time to get ready for the Nats, that you're also going to prepping for it, they just realized that it's going to be Ace or taking the Nats. So now they're probably now pushing Ace up because probably going to have a high turnout rate in Nats. Or
yeah, I think that people get new toy syndrome very easily. They test out new decks that might be good, especially when there's like a big event coming up. I think a lot of people probably will take Ace to Nats. It's very good. I think Ace, Emu, Mihawk, and Luffy are probably throw Boa into that list of 5 as well. And I think that's probably the 5 most represented decks that will appear. But I think there's a strong chance that everything on this list is going to be at Nats. I think there's for sure some Goomba who's gonna play Jinbei and like go 7-2 at the LCQ and get into Nats.
or yeah, and you're also going to have that one player that doesn't really buy a lot of product anymore, and maybe he just still has up Luffy kind of already ready to go, and maybe
Blue
they
Purple Luffy is actually a deck. It's
it
still
is. That's not my thing. Like I was saying more, maybe they just didn't get a chance to buy a lot from OP 13 and 14, and maybe
you
they.
don't you don't really need anything from 13 or 14 for Luffy. So like yeah, I get what you
I'm
mean.
saying is then they wouldn't be able to pivot to a different deck. So the
Right.
best deck is up Luffy they have in their card collection. So they just
There
bring it.
there might be someone like that, but I think it's more likely that someone like there's going to be a grip of people who are committed to Blue Purple Luffy because they like the deck or they like the leader or they like the play style, whatever it may be. There are certainly going to be people who run it just because they like that deck. It doesn't even necessarily like falter down to, oh, they weren't able to get other stuff. Blue Purple Luffy has a crazy following, unfortunately, and the Roger didn't hurt the deck.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also like the only pure purple deck on this list. So I mean, if you are a purple fan, like a legit fan, you might just gravitate towards that because it's your best actual legit purple deck. I mean,
Right,
Doflamingo is
because
purple, but it's
he
different.
ramps, but it's like he's not ramping to like try to play a bunch of big bodies every single turn. His 10 cost is actually made so you can't, or like you're not supposed to be able to drop multiple of them every single like turn. Like each turn in a row, you're not supposed to be able to drop and get the effect
Yeah.
because it does Dawn -3, and then if you use your leader effect, that's Dawn -4. So you'd be back to 6 on your opponent's turn. Then your turn, you would be back at 8. So like there's supposed to be like a cooldown time with Dofi unless you combo other cards that helps you ramp back up. But it's not traditional purple where you're trying to get to 10 Dawn on turn 4 and drop down like board wipe Kaido.
Yeah, it's more of you need to strategize when you're actually going to allow your baby, not baby five, um I want to blank
Monet.
Monet. Like her death is critical. when you actually do it on KO.
Yes.
So
Yep.
that's typically when you want to use. She's like the one you want to do once you go down for Dawn. You go, use her to go back up and maybe get
Yep.
another 10 drop the following turn. So like you don't
Yep.
just want to willy nilly let her go. Like she should be one of the.
Either either that or you have to have the 8 cost Doflamingo and the 6 or the 5 cost Rosinante in play. Like Monet is just so much better of a card to to ramp you back to 10 than the other option. So
Yes.
yes, I completely agree. Like it is probably like a mental game deciding when you actually let it go so you can ramp back up. Because ramping going to 10 quickly doesn't necessarily help you, but getting back to 10 after you just locked down your opponent's field and played a 10 cost is pretty strong.
Yeah. So if you could chain 10-10, you could do that only with Perona. So you just have to play let her be KO'd when you know have it.
Mhm.
You're also right. So like a drop Doflamingo is the other piece, the catalyst there that allows you to get to 10 back pretty quick. Um,
But
but
with the Doflamingo, you have to also have a
untapped.
Rosinante.
Yeah,
So
because
it's like a little, it's more pieces of a combo that you might not find.
otherwise you're not really utilizing your Dawn unless you're leaving up 2 Dawn for a bullet string or something.
Yep.
So, but so far, Jinbei has not fallen off of 10 yet. I don't know why it says, I don't know why there's a down arrow here because I thought he was 10
Because
last week.
its win percentage went down.
Ah,
It was hovering closer to 50% last week.
okay. So this is more about, it's not, but these arrows are not about their
Yeah,
position. It's more about their win rate,
yes,
which
I believe
explains
so.
which explains why Doflamingo and Boa don't have down arrows. Because I mean, Doflamingo actually is probably still around the same win percentage as he has last week. Boa's a little bit worse, but probably not as a huge of a drop as Jinbei.
I could be wrong, but like multiple leaders in this list aren't where they were before. Like Emu doesn't have a down next to it, but it was first last week. So
Yeah, it's also good to be based off this rating number. And I mean, if you look at the numbers, so yeah, so Mihawk is good into the top 2 decks, which explains why it probably will see a lot of play. It does
yep.
struggle across the board, everything else other than Gecko Moria, but it is good against Emu and Ace. I'm not sure if there's a way that you could take a card out and substitute with other cards to make these other matchups a little bit better. You mainly want to be targeting Yuffie or Yellow Luffy, Boa, and Up Luffy because they are the closest to being 50% win rates.
I would actually argue that those are the ones you wouldn't want to tech for. Like, you're barely off of being 50-50 with those. If I was going to tech for something, I would try to tech for Crocodile, oddly Jinbei, or Doflamingo, as those are your roughest matchups. Like,
Interesting.
the ones that you're close to winning already, that's just like the win percentages on this are just like a generalized average. There have been decks that I played that were bad into other decks as a whole, but I had a super good win rate into them. Like Lucci used to be really strong into Enel, but I had a very strong win rate against Lucci with Enel. So like even though the numbers of like the masses might not match up, you can play stronger. Like that's just out of 100 games you should win at least 47 games against Luffy, 45 games against Boa. Like that could come down to just sequencing a turn differently or making a slightly different character play, whereas a a 28% win rate into Jinbei is just fundamentally that deck plays good into your deck. So like
Yeah.
you want to strengthen your bad matchups more than you want to strengthen your like okay matchups in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, man, that could be very valid. I was interpreting it more, at least when I was played Magic, was Like you always want to address the closest ones because if you can get those little notches, it basically would only take a couple cards being swapped to maybe get those percentages up to the point where you could be having a better green cross the board. Versus it would take quite a bit of fundamental deck changes to make Jinbei actually favored, and
Sometimes.
you always just kind of just accept that as a loss, so you just kind of move on. Maybe that's not the man. Maybe that's not right.
Maybe it's
Um,
just I think it's just a different state of mind, but I would rather play a little bit better than shift cards to beat out a matchup that like is already maybe not that bad. Like a 3% variance against yellow Luffy, I feel like that's not that bad. That's basically 50%. You're basically going into that at a coin flip whether or not you win.
Fair enough.
In my
Um,
opinion, anyway. I could be wrong as well. That's just how I look at it. Like, I wouldn't tech for a matchup that's like, like, I either get it or I don't. Like, I would rather tech for a matchup. Like, and teching isn't like shifting your deck entirely. It's just like putting a card in that would be really good against this other matchup and then trying to see it.
yeah, and
Like, that's all a tech
yeah,
card is.
mainly it's swapping out your flex spots. They're not really cards that are
Yeah.
too critical, but they're cards you would accept.
Yeah,
Which it makes
exactly.
yeah, it makes it kind of sad though that they never adopted a pre-sideboard. I think this game would be really good if it did.
I
Um,
agree.
that's like the one thing I think that fundamentally they should do for competitive One Piece. Like if you're in a big tournament, you should have a pre-sideboard so that way you just reveal the leader and then you just sideboard real quick, shuffle up, and it's one best of one.
I
Um,
completely agree.
and then it actually would allow Lucci probably to come at least be okay, better than what it is, because you could have your removal, but you just take them out against Emu, put something else in. Um,
What would you put in? What would Nothing. There's nothing that Lucci does that plays well into Emu. You have no way to gain value off of anything. You
yeah,
just play black cards that can't be KO'd, I
yeah,
guess.
I guess it's tricky. I'm not sure if their new Burgess Jesus is 100% and they're always in their 50, or if it's a like optional car for them. I don't know because if
I
it's
think a lot of people are gonna run it, but it's still like not even that killer. Like it gets a power boost and it gets like a cost boost, right?
yeah, I mean, but like you said, the Blackbeard player, we tried the Turbo Burgess route for Emu. That's like our best line for that deck, but we just got hits into Ace and across the board, so we ended up going back. So, but if we had a pre-sideboard, we could implement the both of them, right? The removal side and the Turbo Burgess side, and we would have a better match across the board. But
Well, I think the thing is Lucci is already going to be turbo Jesus Lucci no matter what. All the deck does is spam cards from your deck into the trash off of leader effect. So like you're always gonna turbo whether it's removal or not. You just can't really like oh cool, you're gonna swing bigger into two blockers that Emu puts out every turn while also like removing your board. It's an issue that like Lucci isn't going to be better into Emu with a card that they didn't need for the Emu matchup. They needed something like Ground Death. Ground Death is arguably the more revolutionary card for Lucci than Jesus Lucci. Because Lucci already does the minus cost. You just minus something's cost and then you hit it with the ground death and then you remove it. And in the course of doing that, you're already building your trash up to play out Jesus Lucci. Lucci Burgess.
fair enough. Um,
But like Emu doesn't play as a black deck and it's not necessarily weak to black decks because its characters just can't be removed. So
Yeah.
like swinging bigger into something that puts out unkillable blockers doesn't do a lot,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it just dies and it comes back immediately the following turn.
And then like all their stuff is KO based on cost. So it's like, oh cool, you set out the Jesus Lucci and then it just gets removed by a Marcus Mars.
Yeah. I do think they kind of went overboard with the base kill stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it kind of just defeats the purpose of the advantage of playing like a koala or a sabo. And
Yep.
you're giving black an identity, and then at the same time trying to make it irrelevant. It's a little weird to me.
They clearly decided when they were making Emu that they needed a deck that was going to completely reset the boundaries of black. And that's what they did. It didn't make it where every black deck going forward was going to be the exact same as Emu, but it made it where every black deck until then was going to struggle into Emu.
Yeah, and green decks. Which I guess is to be expected. I mean, green normally is bad into black, but man. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Mihawk is really good into it. Yeah.
Well,
It's the
Mihawk
opposite.
is good into Emu because Emu isn't a board removal deck. Like, it does tempo plays where it removes a character, but oftentimes you're only using Marcus Mars like a couple times early game, and then by like you're at most using Mars twice before you hit your five elder turns. And then like when you hit your five elder turns, does your opponent really even have many five costs out? Like they might have some blockers out that you want to pop, but their board is also probably flooded with like top end. So it's like Mihawk plays good into Emu because Emu isn't a board removal deck. I think Mihawk would be bad into other black decks. I mean, like, let's look at the bottom. Even Crocodile, that isn't necessarily a board removal, is good into Mihawk.
Yeah, it's just it's board control black.
Mm-hmm. Which is what black normally is. Like, even if you don't consider it being like KO, you're still think about it in the sense that like it's stunning stuff, so the characters can't do a follow-up attack. So like you're still getting them out of a situation where you whittle out your own like resources. So it's like it's control, absolutely. But while like it's not generic black control, you're still essentially mitigating the problems that you would have so they can't apply pressure with those cards. So I think Mihawk is still very weak into black. It's just very strong into Emu because Emu's game plan is putting out blockers.
Yeah, and it also helps that Shanks' swings and you just rest down the four draw
Yep.
blocker so they don't get to draw a card, which is
Yep.
kind of really critical because they want to be able to draw into
Or
more counter.
so they do the shanks every turn to rest one of the blockers, the one that draws a card. Then they have the 9 cost Mihawk that makes it where the other blocker can't block. Or they've already blocked out of the Shanks attack, and then they have Law Beppo as well. So like if you do a Law Beppo and you rest the 6 cost and then you swing with the Mihawk, you've just played around both of their blockers. And then one of them can't even attack the following turn.
Yeah, the Shanks thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because of Mihawk.
Yeah, because Mihawk makes it where it can't be rested.
Yeah. But by that same logic, I wonder Doflamingo. I guess maybe that's why Doflamingo has such a close matchup. Because 10 drop Dofi could do something very similar.
Yes, that is 10 drop Dofi is super anti emu because it narrows down the number of things that they can do from like blocking and then having 3 swings to now they have 2 swings and no blockers.
Yeah, maybe I need to get some rips in with Dofi.
But I imagine it's still probably a little emu favored just because they can remove some of your like more critical cards on early turns. Like Doflamingo does have to have a board presence to really like be successful. You need something to redirect the attack into.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I mean, I don't really think there's a way I could build Doflamingo to be decent into Ace. So I do like this board, this coverage though. It's not too bad. It's like a lot of different matchups are above 50%. Mihawk, Luffy, Boa, still really good. It's good to have all those favored. So, is there anything else you want to talk about this before we get into the rankings?
No, no, not at all. I don't think much has changed with the power ranking.
Okay, so talking about this, we really should not cover anything from block one. I mean, it's about ready to rotate anyways. It's like literally, we could say they're good, and then I don't really want to say they're good, and you just go invest in them, and then they just.
I would rather not even cover them because they're not going to be relevant for our standard format.
Yeah, so going across this, I don't even think Enel's gonna be there.
Yes, it is.
You
It's
think
OPO5 on.
you think it's so you think it's going to be, I mean, as irrelevant as in over here, like in the tier list. You think it's going to be an actual B or C deck?
I mean, it's going to be played. It's getting support in 15.
But we're talking about EB03.
Oh, I don't know. I might play it a little bit. It does get the Nami, which is a really good card, and just gives you a little. But I don't know where I would even put it. I haven't done really any testing with EB03.
Yeah, I match at the same level as Luffy. I'm not trying to. I think. What do you think about Foxy?
I think Foxy kind of smacks. I think it takes a lot of matchup knowledge. Nah, I think you can leave it in like B. It might be like mid B tier. It's a little gimmicky. It loses to board control, but it is a pretty strong deck. That 8 cost Foxy is really, really good, and the 1 cost Porsche is like actually a card that the deck needed.
I think
I think Yamato is maybe like high C. Maybe no, I would say like high C. It gets the 5 cost Yamato that puts 3 Dawn onto your leader, and you can cheat it out off of EB01 Hiyori. But I still think it's bad into blocker format, which is kind of what we're in.
So I think the next one that's even remotely competitive, I don't think Bell Betty is a part of the conversation.
I think Betty's always going to be played, but I don't think it should be on the tier list.
It's a D.
Like, I think people are always playing Betty, but I don't give a shit about Betty. We're kind of past where Betty is good. Betty is good at the beginning of formats, but EB sets aren't new formats. They're just like slight changes to existing formats.
Do you think it's about right though for Bonnie? It's about a B.
Probably. It's just generic green stuff. It doesn't get any direct support, I don't think, but like it's fine. I think Carrot is maybe going to be like C.
I could see that for sure. These are probably just falling under D.
Yeah, I think
Vega
Lucci and Vega. I think Vega might be like between C and D tier, but I never give it a lot of stock. I don't give a shit about that deck.
It might be. It's going to be a lot better with OP15, but
yeah, with EB04.
Yeah, with because Borsellino, but I don't think it's going to be relevant now.
Not at the moment. I think it's still.
I think
lackluster.
I think
Pudding could be like high C tier, maybe even B tier, but we're losing most of the power cards in the deck pretty soon.
Yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, all of the yellow Big Mom stuff outside of like Zeus is rotating out.
I don't think King is relevant at all. Like
No, I don't think so.
Kogera is
I
not
don't
relevant yet. It's going to be a
know. 15. Probably
15.
15 it will
Yes.
make a return. I think
Lim.
Lim is probably C or D tier. I don't it like still just does what it does, but the one card for support that they're getting, they can't even search. It's an unsearchable 2K that you also like actually want on field. So it's rough. I think like low C tier is probably correct.
Yeah, I think that's
Not
it.
to say that it's like not a good deck or that it can't perform well. I just think the support that it's getting added is not consistent enough to make it an A tier deck.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to put this here because it's my favorite deck of all time. You can get at me at
I
that.
love Peanut Butter Luffy.
And Peanut Butter Luffy is getting a lot of support, I think. Not the new Nami in
Not
OP
not
15.
until 15
In
though, but that
15.
Nami is insane. I'm really excited for EB15 for Peanut Butter Luffy. I am also a big Peanut Butter Luffy fan.
Yeah, someone on Reddit was talking about it, like, why is this deck so expensive? And I'm like, secretly, I just feel like there's a lot of people that just love Peanut Butter Luffy. Of
It's
course,
expensive because all of the cards are straw hat, and straw hats are super hype inflated right now.
yeah, that too. But I still think a lot of people like this leader. It's just a fun leader. Like you like it, I like it. I think there's quite. I know DeHaffrey doesn't like purple, but he liked this leader. So like I don't know. I feel like it's just a very likable leader in
It's
general.
it's fun. It's a fun leader. I wish it did more. But I don't think the cards are even that expensive for base rarity.
Robin's probably a D tier.
I don't know about that, sir. I would put that much closer to B tier.
Oh, you think it's like towards the carrot level?
Better than Carrot and probably for sure better than an L.
Okay.
It gets all of the same good yellow stuff that the other yellow decks get, but
And
it
Gunga.
also gets Robin, which heals on
True.
7 and can't be KO'd and is an 8K power.
And it gets Nami.
Yeah, every deck gets Nami though.
If you're yellow,
Nami's
yes.
generic. Yeah,
Yes.
every yellow leader gets Nami. Not every yellow leader gets Robin.
I think Blackbeard's still going to be in the copium at C. I love
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I love
I
it. It's a
think
good deck, but
green yellow law is gonna be like between B and C tier. Uh, probably pretty high up in like that range. Yeah, maybe even like low B tier. It depends on like the pilot. I think Kid is also going to be played. Um,
I agree.
yeah,
And prob-
probably.
probably after starter deck, it's probably gonna it could jump up more.
It depends on what the starter deck support is because we've gotten a lot of bad support out of starter decks as well.
It's still copium. It's still a. It's one of the decks that always looks good on paper, but man, uh,
Yeah. I think Sugar is going to be a really high sleeper pick. Like maybe it actually won events in Japan after EB03. It gets like quite a bit of good support.
yes, he gets redrop sugar. I'm definitely gonna have to try that deck out with the new.
I think it gets like a 5 cost Monet as well, but I don't remember. I think Shirahoshi is also probably honestly, I would almost put Shirahoshi in B tier. That deck fucks. It's good.
Fair enough. You think it's better
I
than?
said I said almost. I didn't say I would put it in B tier.
Is it better than carrot?
No, but I don't think I think Carrot should maybe be in front of Enel. And
Fair.
then maybe Shirahoshi in front of Enel as well. Just because like Enel is just gonna be yellow pile and it's gonna come down like the people who are winning with Enel, which like might be me. I like Enel a lot. I've played a ton of Enel. I've topped a couple regionals playing Enel before. So I I could like see piloting an L and it doing well, but it's going to be based on matchup knowledge. It's not going to be because the deck gets a lot of support right now.
So
I
the
think up
next big boy
is
is
still going
Luffy.
to be like B tier, maybe A tier. I reserve A tier for like high top 5 meta decks.
I kind of reserve it for, in this case scenario, it'd be like 4 to 7 range. These top
No,
four are S. Then you have A,
no,
and then you have.
completely disagree. I think only Emu and Ace are S tier out of those 10. I wouldn't say Luffy is S tier.
Oh no, no,
Luffy
no,
is
no! I was not going to say Luffy was S. I was saying he would be
No, I
A.
was saying when you were looking at the power rankings and you were like, oh, 1 through 4, I wouldn't put
Oh,
Mihawk
this
or Yellow Luffy in S tier. They didn't run a whole format on their own.
fair enough. These two definitely belong there.
I think Yellow Luffy could maybe jump up. No, Nami's higher. Nami's A tier.
I was just putting her here so we could start talking about her. She's next on the target list. You were talking about who?
Yellow Luffy. I think Yellow Luffy, starter deck Luffy, could maybe jump to S tier with the support, but I don't. It's down on the bottom.
Yeah, we
Uh,
haven't we haven't
I
gotten to him yet.
yeah, I was just talking about
Okay.
off of the power rankings that,
Yeah, true. I mean, I you could argue he might be S.
but there's no evidence like completely supporting that. At least there's people in Japan running it, but I don't really look at Eastern format that often. So like to how I feel about him right now, he's probably A tier. People might perform well with him. He might be an S tier deck, but I wouldn't stick him above A at the moment. He's still yellow and he still loses to people who know how to play against yellow. Like I say that as a yellow Luffy main.
Okay, this is some crazy data right here. The best past 2 weeks. Okay, that's just crazy. I don't. This cannot be accurate. So since EB04, um, Zoro's back, and Rosante is top tier.
I mean, Rosinante
He's
is
good.
really,
Yeah,
really good right now and gets even better with EB03. And every yellow deck just gets a little bit stronger with Borsalino.
I think Luffy gets worse, but I mean, it's not as he doesn't get the most out of Borsalino because it takes a long time to get there. But
No, you just drop it late game.
yeah,
You take more hits, you get down to 1, and then at 10 dawn you play double Borsalino and you're back up to 3. Borsalino is still an incredibly good card.
So where do you think Nami is? Is she a B tier deck?
No, she's an A tier deck.
Okay, you think she's better or worse than Luffy?
About the same.
Yeah, so she's basically just a solid budget friendlier option because you're not playing Kuma.
No, you still play Kuma. You just also like it. What I'm talking about is never budget friendly or budget related. I'm personally not a budget player.
Oh, I know that. Like what I've understood is everyone talks about Nami. I think that always brought up the fact she's slightly cheaper than Luffy because they don't most lists I've seen don't play Kuma. Um,
Every list that I've seen plays Kuma. Every yellow deck that a person already owns Kuma for runs Kuma. Like you only don't run Kuma maybe in black yellow Luffy, and if you don't own one.
fair enough. Katakuri, man, I wish the Star deck was here already because
Katakuri is good
it's good.
already. It's weak into removal.
Actually, I think it's better than Luffy. Luffy.
It is. It's more consistent than Pluffy. It's definitely better than Black Purple Luffy. It's maybe better than Lim. I don't think it's as good as Pudding, but That's because Pudding has access. Like Pudding does all the same ramping that Katakuri does, except it gets to play a better 10 cost Big Mom.
What do you think about Rayleigh? I was kind of sad that Rayleigh was not one of the starter
I think
decks.
I think Rayleigh's B tier.
You think it still has the
I
still at that level?
think it's very good into both of the S tier decks. I just think people aren't playing it because it's weak to some other stuff. Same with like Zoro. I think Zoro is still a very strong deck. It still plays well into other stuff. No, I would put it in B.
Mm, okay.
It's pretty solid. It's a good card or a good deck. It just loses to Mihawk. That's the only reason people aren't running it right now.
It also loses to Ace, I think, right? No, Emu.
No,
It's one of the two. He's been into one.
not really either if you're a good pilot. It's worse into Emu, it slaughters Ace.
So next is Kuzan.
Um don't we get that Isuka 5 cost or 6 cost?
We
I think
get a
it's a 5
Hina.
cost.
I think we get a Hina.
I'm pretty sure we get an
No,
Asuka.
no. Yeah, you're right. It's Izuka. The 6 drop, bottom's a 4.
Yeah.
Blocker. Yeah, she's really.
I don't think that's like what Kuzan needed to be like we've talked about how Kuzan is like 1 or 2 cards from being like A tier. I don't think the Asuka was the 1 or 2 cards that it needed, but I still think it's like high C tier, maybe low B tier.
It's better than Law.
Ah, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to the rest of the meta and the pilot that's playing it. Because Law can be good right now. Like, Law can be pretty good into Ace. It's not super great into Emu. But, like, depending on the meta, Law could be better than a C grade deck. I think Sanji is probably B tier for sure.
I think he's right
The
here.
Reiju is a crazy good card. You get to establish 2 bodies and potentially remove anywhere from 2 to 4 bodies off of your opponent's field for 10 Don or less.
I think that's the right spot to put it. Do you think it's better than Bonnie?
No.
Yeah, I think that's the right spot.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
as good as Bonnie in a different way. Like not all the placements are like necessarily one deck being better than a different deck, but sometimes it's just falling into like how it does into some other
yeah.
stuff.
Usually you would
Like
compare
it's
it against A's and
yeah,
B's,
yeah, yeah.
S and A.
It's not necessarily like, oh, is Sanji better than Bonnie in a 1v1, but like does it play better
Into the
into the
meta.
meta? So like maybe it does because it's blue, but Bonnie just gets to rest stuff. So
And I mean, and it has Gum Gum Giant, which is always a positive. Now,
yeah,
the leader that gets a lot of support here is Rosazante.
yeah, it's definitely already like Rosinante is B tier right now, if not low A tier. After EB03, I think it's for sure gonna be like A tier.
Is it better than Nami?
No, I don't know if it's going to play better into the meta than Nami, but I think Nami is a better deck than Rosinante because Nami can just run removal that plays around how Rosinante plays. But also, I think Rosinante is very strong into Luffy. So, like, I wouldn't necessarily put Rosinante as number 1, but I also wouldn't put Luffy to 3. Like, they can be in the same tier and the tier placement not mean
Meh.
it's better than
Yeah,
the one next to it.
they're equal footing.
Yeah, like if Ace and Emu didn't exist, I don't necessarily think it would be like a triangle meta, but I would say that the most competent decks on this list would be Luffy, Nami, and Rosinante for what we have on the list so far.
Next is Koala. She got a new 4 drop.
It's not very good. Like, it's a good card. I'd put her maybe in C tier. There's going to be a lot of like C tier decks, realistically.
Yeah, she's
Um,
one of the ones I wish was way better than she is because she's a fun leader to pilot actually.
it's super cool. I have the alt art leader. I wanted to build the deck. It's just not what it works in a clunky way. You would think that it's really really good, but like the meta has shifted away from us playing multiple characters out. Like Emu does it, but when they're playing out multiple characters off of a different card, they're at 10 Dawn, they're establishing 5 bodies. If they take
Yeah.
1 life, it's not that big of a deal when they have 2 blockers that you can't get around. Also, I think that Koala is good, but I think it's better in Sabo.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
yeah, the only difference is that she can get back a Nico Robin, but I mean, Nico Robin that important.
Well, it can only get back the 6 cost Nico Robin, like the yellow or the black one, which is like fine. But Sabo, like the koala can bring back a 6 cost Sabo as well, which is just infinitely a better target than either of the Nico
I mean,
Robins.
can't she technically play six drop Sabo?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Koala? Yeah, Koala can play 6 cost Sabo as well. It just doesn't. All of the black cards that are good in Koala are just infinitely better in Sabo because Sabo has a better leader effect. It's not
Um.
even that it's a better leader effect, it's that it's better into the meta. Or like it
Yeah.
has a better play style that doesn't rely on your opponent doing specific stuff. Because your opponent can just play small and wide the whole game, and then it's like, oh damn, what am I going to do against a bunch of my opponents 7 cost 8k power characters? Like, oh no, my opponent played 4 Kumas and now he's just swinging 7k every turn. I guess I'm gonna eat all this life.
So next is Red Green Luffy.
I think it's like B tier. I think it's like B tier right now. I think it's a good deck.
I think that's
And
about right.
with like,
And same with Roger. I think it's better than Saint
yeah,
a
I think
lot.
Roger is also like B tier. I think it's like maybe a card away from being A tier, but the card is something that they won't give us.
What are you thinking?
It needs like an in archetype 8 cost Katakuri or like a 5 cost kid, something that gives you a Dawn back when one is minus. That way you can play the 10 cost and then play another 10 cost the next turn.
Oh, I mean, I think he's gonna move up. I think after OP 15,
Yeah, when we get
the Zoro.
the Zoro that makes him 7k quicker or 9k. Yeah, I think I think he moves to A tier maybe after 15.
So next is Sabo. So Sabo is very tricky.
I think Sabo is like B tier. It might even be like A tier with the right pilot, but it it struggles a little bit.
Yeah, I was struggling to get the wins with this deck. Maybe that's just me as the pilot. But it felt like my opponent's decks was faster than
Yeah,
me.
that
Um,
that's kind of the issue is that it's like it doesn't like Bello Betty played really quickly because it was able to give a lot of power to multiple characters that you would cheat out in a super quick manner. Whereas Sabo like plays 1 card a turn, or it's playing multiple cards, but they're the worst cards in the deck. Or like you play the dragon that plays a different character, but you know what I mean. Like usually you have 6 Dawn, you play a 6 Dawn character. You have 8 Dawn, you try to maximize and play your dragon that plays another character. But like you're always trying to utilize all of your Dawn for whatever the biggest character that you have is to generate the most amount of advantage. So you're usually only sticking 1 body a turn, or you're playing 2 4 costs on your 8 Dawn turn, and that's like suboptimal.
yeah, and the other thing is like if you go first, it just gets so much worse.
Oh yeah, then you're wrecked. You get absolutely shreked if you go first.
Yeah, that's like the one of the biggest things holding it back. Is you
It
can't,
has
it has to go
no,
second.
it has absolutely no good odd curve at all. Like your best odd curve is playing your even curve one turn later, and that sucks.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do? You're gonna play 5-drop koala. um, sad. So next is Yellow Bonnie. Is she even playable?
I think Yellow Bonnie is still just gonna be Thriller Bark slop. It's gonna be around. No, I think it's better than D. I think it's like around C or B tier. Um,
You're thinking right here.
nah, I'd probably put it closer to around like Shirahoshi. It's just like yellow good stuff. Like right there is fine, probably.
Fair enough. I really haven't seen her all that much as of late. I think
I
Law.
think it gets a lot better once we get uh 15 and EB4 yellow stuff.
Now Law is a very interesting guy.
Nah, I think Law is D tier.
Really?
Yeah. I think the deck is hella fun. It could maybe be C tier, but it's not very good. It's not a super good deck.
Fair enough. I mean, I've had some moderately good success with it. The deck is it's not
Are
straightforward, but
you are you playing on ranked a bunch?
I do depending on the actual leader. If it's a leader I have plenty enough
No, no,
games
no. I'm
with,
saying like with Law. Have you played Law on ranked a bunch?
not yet.
It does not do super. And like we're obviously talking about the EB03 meta, but all of the decks that already do good into Law are better in EB03.
Yeah, and he
So it's like
didn't.
Law is just a quick aggro, like it's a quick aggro deck that's really low to the ground on how you play it. And there are some good tech choices that you can run, and good pilots can still pilot a deck well. But I think overall it suffers a little bit. It needs maybe like another character that plays out a different character. Like I know it has
Kid.
the kid
Mm-hmm.
blocker already, but maybe like a higher cost that does that as well, or like I don't know, because it has top end rush. It needs honestly a really good 3/5. And I
Yep.
know we get one in EB04 with, or maybe
Interesting.
it's 15. You just don't really. So, like on your first turn, you establish a one cost body that you can't switch the power of anything with. Like you can't get aggressive with your characters early enough. But if you had a good 3 cost 5k or a good, honestly a 3/6 would be amazing, but there's no way to do that with base power at this point in the game. But like a good 3/5 that's just not fucking dead in hand or unsearchable. There's just not enough good supernova cards to really like utilize the deck right now. There is, it's close, but it's still pretty bad. It has some really good cards, but it's still pretty bad.
So, are you thinking if it had a card like what's his face,
Well, it
the,
gets like
the old
not Wado Ichimochi. You know the Jinbei card that's a 2k counter, that's a 3/5. It gets one of those.
yes, if you have to
I,
do
I think it's probably high C tier or B tier with that card because it's a 3/5 that's also a 2k counter. And it's a supernova, so you can like switch the power. It it doesn't necessarily get to attack, but it does allow your other characters that are already on board to attack.
well, I was thinking more of like you think if it had like I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the character's name, the one that they really want to have a leader. This I think it's a 7 draw from EB02, the black card. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's the old Navy guy. Um,
Sengoku.
Sengoku. So if you think he had a Sengoku that was red, that did something very similar, that it's like a 7K or 8K supernova. That's like a 6-7 drop. That would be something they would probably want, because then at that point you could play down the Cavendish,
I don't
and then you swap the
think
power, and then Cavendish gets rush, and you can swing.
I don't think it being like a blocker is essential. I think if it was like, I think instead of like Zoro playing, or like instead of Zoro minusing something by 1K when it attacks, I think if it played out like a 2 cost or lower body, that way you could play Zoro and Zoro would play out Cavendish. Then you swing Zoro, leader effect, swing Cavendish. So, like, yes, I think if we got like a Sengoku that had Rush, a Sengoku that played a 2 cost or lower supernova body.
Yeah, that would be kind of push where, yeah, that'd be exactly what I wanted. You could play that swing, you get your Cavendish down with it, and then you could switch the attacks, swing the
Yeah,
Cavendish because it has rush.
it
But
would give, and it could even be like a 7 cost 7K power. It doesn't even need to be like a 7/8 the way that Zoro is. Like, base out the stat line that way it's like balanced, because it is very strong to have a card that has a rush and also plays another card that would essentially have rush, but you put those limitations in place to like kind of really lock it into super, maybe even like if your leader is supernova, this character has rush, that way you can't even like play it in a non supernova leader. Like I would be fine with like making it overly restricted to how it gets its effect, as long as it did that for law. You know what I mean? Like I would be fine with it being like, oh, if your leader is OP 14 dash whatever Trafalgar Law's number is, like that way it's locked specifically to that deck even. Like I'd be fine with that. But I think it would have to be a top end character that has rush that plays another body out. Or I guess like as long as you played out the Cavendish, you would have one body that's swinging. But I think it needs to be able to swing 2 bodies a turn late game.
yeah, it's one of those things, and even like Zoro, I think was not made right. I would rather it pump a two one of your other bodies instead of minusing 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Would have done more work, because
Agreed.
I mean,
Agreed.
because it's very difficult to get swing for multiple bodies with law without devoting a lot of dawn. So
This is kind of a reach as well, but I hate that so many of the cards minus power, but they don't consider it minusing base power. Like I wish the ones that minused power could be comboed with the Arouge. Like I like the Arouge so much. I think that card is so cool. I love that it pops a, what is it, a 2 or a 3K power,
3K.
and then it draws you a card too. That extra card in hand is so amazing. Like I think Arouge is like arguably the best card in that deck. In
Yeah.
terms of card, like raw card advantage, because it's like negging your opponent a card and you're going up a card while swinging. So I
Yeah.
like Arouge a lot. Um,
So since we are talking about him, let's talk about this Jinbei. Because I faced twice on that stream law against Jinbei, and I was like,
mhm.
"Ooh, I have a Rouge in my hand. Like that's my arguably has to be my best card in the matchup." Because they have so many 3Ks,
You would think
one drop 3Ks
until
like
they
R
law you.
long, and they have.
Until they hit you with the 4 cost law and they bounce your ship back to hand.
I was like, man, it would theoretically would be good, but they're just so quick. It does.
Mm-hmm.
The Rouge doesn't matter. That
Yep.
that was more what came up. Like,
I
so
wish if Law had the effect that Jinbei had instead of switching 2 characters power. Like I don't love that Law's effect is so restricted in the sense that it like you can only make one extra thing attack per turn, whereas Jinbei can just be like, oh, discard a
Yeah.
card.
I
This one cost is attacking now. Discard another card. This other one cost is also attacking. So like for 2 cards out of hand, they make it where 2 different characters can attack. And then like sometimes those characters have on KO if this character has 2 Dawn attached, draw a card. And all of them are like every time they are played out, they draw a card, or when they die, they draw a card. Jinbei is kind of cracked. It reads so insane on paper. It's crazy that it's not better.
Yeah, so I do think one thing they should not have done to law was make it once per turn. I think it should have been worded slightly different. It should be exchange the power between 2 different supernovas that have not had their power switched this turn.
So, I like that.
So that way, if you have 4 things on board, you could switch twice, right?
Yep.
So you could do
but you
a big and a
couldn't
little
like
and a big and a little.
Yep.
So like, but you couldn't do if you swapped it. You can't swap that one again. So
yeah, you can't swap from like say you swap Zoro and Cavendish, you can't then swap Cavendish with a different character like to another Cavendish to swing again. Like I completely agree. I like the way that is worded. The way that you worded it, I think would have worked really well. And I think it would have made the deck a little bit stronger. I think also it could have been a little bit better if it wasn't just locked to Heart Pirates or Supernovas. If you could run Straw Hats as well. If it was like Supernova, Heart Pirate, Straw Hat, because Law spends a lot of time with the Straw Hats in the story, and even the red event for the deck searches out Straw Hats. It's so weird.
That would be very pushed, because then you could play 4-drop Monkey D. Luffy, which cheats it out of the body, and then you would be...
Well, you can already run that 4-cost Luffy. It's a Supernova. You just don't run enough events for it to be worthwhile.
Interesting enough, yeah. Where do you think Jinbei is? Right now I have it between
not in B tier. What are you doing? No.
You think it's
God,
C?
no. I think it's D tier. That deck is ass. Yes.
Really? I think it's...
Yes.
I think it has to be better than Rayleigh.
It's so bad.
You think Rayleigh is better than Jinbei?
Yes. Jinbei is not good into Emu. Jinbei is not good into Ace. Jinbei is good into like Doflamingo.
And Mihawk. Yes.
Yeah. When one of your best matchups is the mirror match. When your third best matchup is a mirror match, it's probably not very good for you. It's crazy because the deck, all of the cards read like they should be so fucking cracked. They all legitimately read like, play this and you'll win the game. I think that's a correct placement for Mihawk. It's probably above the other 3, but placement on the list doesn't necessarily mean it's better than the other.
Well, I figured it'd be A because earlier you said there's only 2 S tier decks.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Mihawk is A tier. I think it's probably better than Luffy even. I'm just saying like where it sits in the A category doesn't necessarily like dictate how I feel about it versus the other decks in that category.
Is Boa also A?
I think Boa is probably A. Maybe it shifts a little bit down to B, but it's probably A still.
Is it better than Rosie?
I think it plays into Rosie better than Rosie plays into it.
I mean, so Boa, it plays into... It's okay into Emu, but it's good into Ace.
That's not... I mean, I think Rosie is kind of good into Emu and might be good into Ace as well, but Boa is probably a better deck than Rosie.
Rosie, we'll give the edge to Rosie because it's Rosie.
Again, that's why I've been saying like every couple of minutes where it sits in the like row that it's in does not dictate how I feel about it versus the other decks in that row.
I think this is about accurate for Dofi.
I think it's maybe B tier, like very high B tier, but I think a lot of things play pretty well into it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those decks that just has a very good matchup into many things. It's a good solid 50-50 win rate deck. It has a good advantage, I think, into some of the best decks in the format. So, I mean,
it's not good into
S tier.
either.
Yeah, it's not good
Either of the main decks, but
yeah,
I think it's good. I think it has a pretty decent matchup spread. I think it just falters a little heavy into the two best decks.
Croc.
Okay, I'm gonna say no. Croc is like up next to Doflamingo. I think Croc is actually A tier if the pilot is really good. Like Doflamingo, I don't think having an insane pilot is gonna push you much higher than like a good pilot. But like an insane pilot on Crocodile is leagues ahead of an okay or a good pilot on Crocodile. That deck is like 6 head. It's such a like thought-provoking deck, but it is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it's also very weird. It also has the same issue that Sabo has. Like, it's odd. It's going first.
Yeah, it doesn't have a good odd curve.
It's so bad. Like, your best line is turn 2, or if you're forward on turn, play a Mr. 2, crack it, get back your 5, which is pretty solid.
Is like fine. Well, I mean, I guess technically you do have an odd curve. It's just that you don't have a good odd curve until 5 dawn.
Yeah, because you're playing a 4 drop. Or a 5 drop.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you would do on your odd turn regardless. So like you do have odd curve cards. You just don't have like it's just inconvenient when you could have played a Bon Clay on 4 and cheated out a 5.
Let me know if I'm wrong. I think the cards that Crocodile is missing is 2Ks that are not the 1 drops. It needs like a more relevant 2K counter.
Nah, I think the 2Ks being 1 drops don't really matter. I actually kind of hate when they make 2K counters top end cards outside of like
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Jinbei.
I'm saying is like they need like a solid 3 drop that has 2K counter. Like that's actually could replace a 2K. You could play it on your odd curve. If you want,
I don't think it needs to be a 2K, is what I'm saying. I don't think it being a 2K counter is relevant at all. I don't think there is an issue with the cards that they have already as 2K counters. I don't think 2K counters being 1 cost is an issue. Like, I don't think any of those things are an issue. I will say they do need something good to do on 3 Dawn. It doesn't need to be a 2K counter, though. Like, I don't think its counter ability matters at all. I think what matters is a good, strong 3-cost character that does something relevant for the deck.
That's fair. I was thinking more lines where you're going to end up wanting to trim are the 1-drop 2Ks. They're arguably the cards
probably
you never want to use them ever. I've seen them sitting in my hand. I have like 4 or 5 of them. They just aren't ever relevant to put on board. I'd rather just have if there was a 3-drop that has the flexibility where I could play it or be a 2K still would be really nice.
That would be amazing. That would be tailor-made for the deck. But I'm just saying it needs a playable 3-cost more than it needs a
replacement 2K.
Niche 2K that's also a 3-cost. So like ideally, you don't want to play your 2Ks. The more 2Ks that you play out in a game, the less counter that you have.
Yes.
2Ks are built to be heavy counter pieces. I hate when 2K counters are utility pieces. I miss when they were just like generic. Like, I don't love that Jinbei in Yellow Luffy is a 2K counter. Because I like playing him out. Because he's a free body.
So,
but he's 2k counter less that I have to win the game.
so what I'm talking about is more like the equivalent of 3-drop Robin in Peanut Butter Luffy and
I hate that card
Boogie
too.
in Buggy and Roger, right? They're both 2K counters. You might play them out as ramp pieces. But once you get past your ramp, usually you save it for a 2K
I
counter.
understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is I hate cards designed like that. Let my counter be counter. Don't make me play it out to gain the advantage that I need. I would have rather Nico Robin been a carbon copy of the 3-cost Zoro rather than being a 2k counter.
Right? That's weird. I love the fact that it's a 2K counter. Like as often
It's convenient because it's extra counter, but it's the worst card to play on 3.
well, yeah.
I'd rather play Black Maria on 3, but that's still the issue that it's a 2k counter. My problem is that I don't like utilizing 2k counters outside of being counter. I understand the benefit of them. I know how they work better in the deck and like how it functions more smoothly. You can either counter or you can use the effect. I get that deck lists are tight. I just hate that they keep making cards that you need for your deck to run correctly 2k counters.
Yeah, like Usohachi.
Like Usohachi. Usohachi is a really tricky one. That's actually a super good example because it's like, oh, do I need to save this card so I don't die? Or do I need it so I can go for lethal? Like, unless every card was a 2k counter, which would be insane. Like, that's the only time I don't care about utility cards being 2ks. Like, I love Zeus. 2-cost Zeus is a crazy good card. I love it so much, but I hate playing it because it's a 2K. I value counter in hand a lot.
Fair enough.
Like it's not that I'm saying that they're bad cards. That's not what I'm getting at all. I just hate that they have to be 2Ks or something that makes your deck work properly.
Fair. So we only have a few more to talk about. We have Gecko.
Right, because a lot of them are starter deck stuff, I guess, or irrelevant.
Yeah, so we have Gecko Morin.
I think Gecko is like C tier. It unfortunately it doesn't like it gets a Perona, but the Perona's not that good. It's like fine, but it's not what the deck needed. The deck needs a way to draw cards, and it doesn't have that.
And I think that's the only other ones that are, I think, got enough this one. I think Red Purple Luffy is going to be decent next time.
I think
with Zoro.
Kobe is actually good. It gets support in EB03. Yeah, it gets a Hibari. And I think, does it get 2 Hibaris? I think it's a Hibari
and it gets the other girl.
A Peacock. I don't remember her name in English, but
I think she's a 4-drop.
Yeah. Black one, right? One of them's red and one of them's black. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I think the 3-drop is red.
Yeah, I want to say the 3-cost is Hibari, and that one's red, and then I want to say the other one is a black 4-cost, and it's Peacock.
Yeah, it gives everything a plus 2,000 or something, plus 1,000.
I think it's plus 2,000, but I want to say it's only on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, so he does get,
which is very strong.
Question is he a C tier or is he a B tier deck now?
I think he's like maybe low B tier. I think he would be higher if removal was better. Like, we're in a meta where KO removal isn't that crazy, but he does have the ability to swing into active characters, which is very strong.
Oh, well, I guess we're not done yet. We still have some other ones to talk about.
Oh yeah, we have like Vivi, right?
Luffy. What do you think?
Oh, gee. Probably B tier. I don't think it's ever going to be worse than B tier, but it doesn't really get anything new. If it's going to increase in quality in the meta, it's going to be because the meta shifts in a way where it becomes good again. I just don't think we're in that situation.
And like I said, I do think Red Purple Luffy is going to get good next set because it gets a new Zoro, and then it absolutely, I think it's kind of good after that.
I think it could be good after that. I think it still runs into the problem where it like has to ramp quickly and it's running a lot of bricks.
Yeah, and then we have the new VV.
I think Vivi is like a solid B tier. From like I haven't seen a ton of games and I've ran none of my own, but like I have seen some people play it and I've played against it a couple times and like it's not bad. It's not a bad deck by any means. It has its characters can stick on board because of the leader effect and that's really important. Also,
Yes.
it can give big bodies rush the turn that they're played. There's nothing like dropping a pop shanks and then giving it rush
Mm-hmm.
or dropping down a 10 cost Kaido that draws you 4 cards and then you give it rush. So like just the or in EB04 we got that Chaka Pell that has like double attack and it draws you cards. That card is really cool. I like that card a lot.
Weirdly
I don't
enough,
like Pell. I think he should have died, but I do like the Chaka Pell card.
I did not. I don't think I do not. I guess I did, but I just didn't draw it when I played that deck on stream Thursday. And
It is like
it
a
is
9 cost.
yes. I do have to admit, like there is no better feeling I've ever felt in this game than playing that 10-drop Shanks, popping something, especially the Mihawk 9-drop Mihawk, and then immediately
Mm-hmm.
giving it rush and then swinging into the
The
Mihawk.
Law Beppo, yeah, or a Mihawk, or a
Oh,
Shanks, yeah,
that was like one
yeah.
of the greatest feelings I've ever felt. Like, and she does give you that feeling. That's a nice
That's
feeling to have.
that's some real large gusto energy.
It is.
Some big peepee vibes.
I mean, only if she was that strong in the show. I mean, but the fact that she just makes Shanks have rush, man,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is something. I think she. What is a little awkward about her though is a lot of her sport does rotate post. You know,
Yeah.
so like she does need to be refigured out and calculated post that, but she still does have Shanks. She is playing Silver's
Well,
Rayleigh, and she's playing
you don't
Beckman, which is
you don't
interesting.
have to run like you can just run generic stuff. She's not locked to
She's not.
Alabasta, which
Yeah.
is cool. But you do get the is it a 5 cost Vivi that plays out a 5 cost Straw Hat or Alabasta card, and you
Yes.
get a Nami that like reduces the power of a character. Like that Nami is really strong. It's like a 5/7
Mm-hmm.
that reduces a character's power. That card's really good.
Yeah. You could
And then
use
you give it rush.
you could use that VV to cheat out another 5-drop Nami, the blue
Yep.
blocker, or you could do the
Yep.
red one. So like there
Yep.
is options to make it like a red blue straw hat
It
deck if you really
it's
wanted to.
mostly just going to be like until it has a direction to really go in for like an archetype, it is for sure just going to be like red blue pile, but it's red blue pile that gives a character rush every turn. So you're swinging out with something every turn. And it has like a way to keep your characters on board. So it's like anti removal and it's rush, which is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting leader. I do wonder if there's a way to build it in straw hats, like blue red straw hat. I mean, because
Probably.
it seems like that would be pretty reasonable, um, and kind of get away from the Alabasta package. I mean, because you don't really need to be playing Alabasta. Like,
No, but you can that way you can run the 9 cost double attack Pell, Chaka Pell, which is like the boss monster, and it's an odd curve 9 cost for you to play. Or like an odd curve top end for you to play. But I guess you could just play like Rayleigh for 8 and reduce the power of 2 things, and then like also reduce the power with your leader effect.
yes, Rayleigh is okay in the deck. It's been a while since I actually played with Rayleigh. Weirdly enough, he hasn't been relevant in quite some time.
Yeah, I could see Beckman and Oh my goodness, Beckman and Shanks being better cards for the deck than Rayleigh, but I could see Rayleigh being a playable card if you wanted to shift towards like a heavier red hair pirate build.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Then again, Rayleigh's not really a red hat, but I do think like
Oh
Rayleigh.
no, he's not. Sorry, he's former Roger. I don't know why.
It's because
I
he was
thought
fighting
of
Shanks.
it's literally because he came out and then like was heavy Shanks support basically.
Yes. So I mean, he's not as good into Boa, but Ben Beckman is pretty good into Boa.
Yeah, Beckman's really strong into yellow in general, or like things that can't be KO'd. Beckman's a really good card, and paired with Vivi, it's like really nice.
Yeah, and then you could play the Luffy Ace and Sabo, where you could
Yep.
play it. You can, but I think you get to attach the Dawn to anywhere, right? So you could put it on your Beckman.
I think you have to put it on your leader.
Either way, you could have something like that where it reduces the cost, and then Beckman just trashes.
Mm.
Pretty good.
Well, you wouldn't be able to give the Beckman rush, but you can use leader ability to minus something by 1k, like a Kuma to
Yes.
drop Kuma down to 6k, and then you play the Beckman to k or to trash it, and then it doesn't heal your opponent. That's a cool move. But you don't get to give the Beckman rush, which is a little unfortunate. There's no way to sequence it where you get both.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other leader to talk about. I don't really think Odin is on this category. Like,
No, he doesn't get the right support in EB. And like maybe if the 5 cost Yamato was green instead of yellow, he
I
would
could see
maybe
that.
be a little bit more playable, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't know why she was yellow instead of green. I mean, it makes
I don't
more
know
sense.
cuz
Lana
cuz
Wano.
the green Yamato, well we have a whole yellow archetype of Wano.
Yeah, it came out with Yamato.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
will it technically came out with starter deck 8 Yamato,
yeah, that's what I was talking
mono
about.
yellow,
I was talking
yeah.
about the mono yellow Yamato.
And then like we got more yellow support when we got green yellow. Um so like they are rotating out the 5 cost secret rare from OPO1. That was a green Yamato. So they could have made the new one green. And like it attaches the rested dawn. That could totally be like a green characteristic, but alas, they did not.
Yeah, the only thing that's really going to be sad that's rotating from those decks, the Lana Wano decks, is the one drop Searcher
The
Mamasuke.
Momo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we've gotten so that rotating out sucks because it can grab any
Color.
color,
Yep.
like, and it can grab itself. So it can grab any color and it can grab any cost. It just can't grab another. Oh, it can't. Yeah, it can grab itself, right? Because it's one that turns itself sideways. Those can usually grab other copies of themselves as well.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it grabs itself. So like it grabs any cost, it grabs any Wano card. So like it's pretty solid. Whereas like we have the Otama from, is it OPO7? The one costs 2k that also searches out a Wano card, but it only searches out a green Wano card. And then we have the Yamato from the starter deck, but that only searches out 2 cost or higher. So you can't even search out 1 costs like Samurai, which isn't rotating for some reason.
It was printed in PRBO2, I think.
Well, yeah, but I'm when I say for some reason, I don't mean like, oh, was it like is it not getting rotated because it was like I'm saying I don't know whose decision it was to leave You Can Be My Samurai in the game. Like, why did that card if it like evade rotation when Momonosuke didn't?
Yeah, and they kept around Bonnie. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
why pick Bonnie with Supernova over Mamasuke, which actually I think is more important because of Yamato and etc. and friends. But
There's more green supernovas than Wano cards.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
red,
mean,
green Luffy, green, yellow Law, green Zoro, Bonnie. That's like 4 decks off the top of my head that all heavily rely on like supernova. But although I don't know, because we have the Kid Killer now.
yes, we do.
Like we got the 2-cost Kid Killer that also searches. So I don't know why they left Bonnie. Honestly, I have no idea why they left Bonnie in through rotation. We don't need it. We
Yeah.
don't need 2 green supernova searcher characters.
I guess we say that now, but we're not both. Either one of us are supernova runners. So
No, I
we're
mean,
not. Yeah, we're not trying to pilot the
strongly
deck.
disagree. Strongly disagree. I have green yellow law built.
Oh yeah,
I'm
'cause-
looking forward to the secret rare from EB03. I used to play red green law. I would play it now if it was viable. Like I don't play Zoro, Luffy, or Bonnie, but I'm certainly someone who benefits from
I haven't
green
Bonnie.
supernovas. I just don't think we need 2 character searchers for green supernova. I don't think that's super balanced when we also have a green event that searches supernovas.
Yeah, the pizza. But
Yeah,
but then again, most decks kind of depend on it. That's one of the big things. The reason why I just don't really think Roger is good enough is because it doesn't have another one drop Shanks. Like if it had 2, it would be much more consistent. But
it would, but you're also running a ton of shit that's not like the issue isn't that you're not finding your Roger cards, it's that you have a bunch of non-Roger cards as well. Like you can't search Bon Clay. And the only way to like rectify that would be to give every single deck a GARP, basically, that just searches anything that's 3 cost or higher. And that's like
yeah,
kind of broken.
it's too boring too. It's too boring for design. I like the fact that it's restricted the way it is. So do you have anything else you want to talk about regarding the power rankings? I don't think none of these other leaders are going to need to
I
be talked
think
about.
starter deck 5 Purple Shanks. I think that's gonna make its appearance in the meta. I think it's gonna be very, very popular. I think it's gonna win Nats next weekend. I think it's gonna win Nats in September. I'm kidding, it's rotating out. I'm joking. It's the worst leader that we have in the game. OPO1 King might be the worst leader that we have in the game, but
This one?
yeah,
Um,
card is super bad.
Everyone says this, but I think I went like 2-1 with it.
Take it to a local, dog. You're gonna get slaughtered. Like it's not just because you've won a couple games with it doesn't mean that it's a good leader.
I'm not saying
I
it's
take
good. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying
it is
the fact that it
the
was
worst.
able.
No. Just because it wins a couple games doesn't mean it's not the worst leader. Like when I say it's the worst leader, I mean by design, it is the worst leader. It does the worst effect out of anything in existence. Out of any of the leaders that we have, it has the worst effect. You have to be at 10, but when you're at 10, it's only on your turn, I'm pretty
I
sure.
think it's one of the
So
two.
it's like when you're at 10 Dawn on your turn, all of your characters have minus 1k power. But as soon as you play a character that minuses Dawn, you lose your leader effect. And what's the whole point of purple? It's not to ramp up to 10 and give everything minus 1k. It's to ramp up to 10 and play big bodies. And it's Animal Kingdom, so like you want to play the 10 drop Kaido.
And
You want to play
I
the
guess
9 cost Kaido.
but in that regarding though, like I guess with the king, it does make it a lot easier at least to get that Dawn back immediately. King and Kite, yeah, King.
Yeah, but okay, say you have King on field and you play the 10 cost Kaido. Or I guess maybe you're talking about like without without playing the Kaido, you just play a top end card that minuses you
Two
one or
Dawn.
two Dawn, and then you get that Dawn back.
Yeah, like Linlin.
Or like the 7 cost Kaido, even. Like, sure, but it's still like you're just adding in extra steps, putting you a little bit further away each time from it being like good. Like when I talk about something being good, I want it to be good on its own. Like I don't want it to have to be good with 4 cards comboing together. You know what I mean?
But by all means, I am not saying it is, better
Nah, at
than
this
the
point,
top 10
there's
worst. But
there's probably worse leaders. Maybe red demo deck Uda is arguably a worse leader. Um, Iceberg, maybe.
there's definitely some here that are in that contention. Um,
Zephyr's pretty bad. I would almost give it to Zephyr. That leader's terrible.
so like if you get into the worst of the worst, you have Zephyr, you have Sanji.
No, 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 no. Sanji's really strong. It just plays around vanillas.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Like, honestly, I had a worse
Blue
time
Purple
with.
Kaido is really bad.
I also had a really hard time with the OG Black Luffy.
I know someone who got a regional invite playing Black Luffy.
Which one?
The original.
The one
Starter
that,
deck 8.
the one I think
The one that you just hovered your hand over. Yes. I know someone who has gotten a Nats invite running that deck. Running that leader. It mainly ran the Navy package, but like that leader was good for a period of time. It wasn't right on release, and it's certainly not now. But like when Jack released, it was a really good leader. There was like a week and a half where the format lined up where it was doing really good in a lot of events. It's a very skill intensive leader, and it runs a lot of cards that combo together.
Yeah, I mean, the other way they keep trying to make work is Uda.
Say that that's a worse leader
no,
than King
no.
or Zephyr is
Oh
crazy
no,
too.
I am not saying that. I'm saying she's probably around D, technically.
Yeah, they keep giving her support. She's probably like low C tier. None of the support that they gave her, it's all playable in the deck, but it's not support for her.
Yeah, yeah. I was not saying by any metric that she was bad.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, dude, no, that deck ruled a format. Like that deck was playable out of the box.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I would say Zephyr. You could argue. I didn't really have that much success with Kinemon.
Zephyr, King, Kinemon, maybe Red Black Garp, Iceberg.
Garp.
Yeah, it's like it struggles. It's just that the colors don't work for it.
Yeah, I hope they give him.
It's like it's not that I dislike Garp. It's that the leader effect, while even so, the leader effect is really, really cool. I like how it works. It just doesn't have the right cards.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have. I wasn't a huge fan of Yellow Yamato.
Yellow Yamato's pretty bad. The promo Red Purple Law is pretty bad. The starter deck Purple Shanks is pretty bad.
Yes.
Starter deck Sakazuki also pretty bad.
I mean, that's a KO on a stick. It's not like terrible.
It's very bad. It's terrible.
Compared to King. Compared to King,
not,
he's better.
Yeah, no. Compared to King, it is better than King, but it is really bad still. It's slow. It doesn't keep up with other decks. And like the most consistent thing that you can do is plant like the Celestial Dragon engine to minus everything down to 0 and then just KO it with your leader every turn.
And And Shanks had the potential. They just never gave it the support.
It never got good film support.
Yeah.
Like purple never got good film cards outside of like the 8-cost Douglas Bullet. I think is like maybe the best purple film card, and that came in that starter deck.
Yeah, like that was his faulting was not because it's really his ability. It's because of the fact that they just never gave it a full deck list
It's
of good.
yeah. It's like not necessarily that the effect is bad. It's bad that it's locked into film.
Yeah,
Even if it was like a multicolor leader, because we have other colors that have good film support
now
or
that
playable film support.
now that actually is a legit thing. So if this Shanks originally was, if they swapped this with the red purple Uda in colors, it might have been
It
actually a
would be
pretty good leader.
gas.
It'd been
It
actually
would.
been
I
pretty.
think maybe even so, both of them would be better had that been the key. Like make Shanks red purple 4-life leader. Make red purple Uda mono purple 5-life. And I think we're actually maybe cooking. Because like Uda can utilize, no, I guess Uda still kind of needs to be red purple because it doesn't have good top end. We'd still be suffering the same issue that like Shanks has.
Yeah, she just would need to be
It just wouldn't have. Well, no, actually, if we made her mono purple, like you could still run the purple card, like the purple film cards to utilize her effect, but you can run any purple top end. The issue is that Shanks only, his effect only boosts the power of film cards.
Yeah.
So like I think even making Uda a 5-life mono purple leader would make that leader better because you can ramp into anything, whereas Shanks doesn't need to ramp into, like, it doesn't need to ramp up and play anything. It needs to have a wider selection of in archetype cards. Like Uda's more generic. Uda's effect is technically more generic. You can just pitch away the bad purple film cards, whereas Shanks, you have to play out your bad purple film cards. So no, I totally agree. I think if we swap the color on those two and we swap the life, so like Shanks was just 4 dual color and then Uda was mono 5-life, I think that would make both of them way more playable.
But on that note, we need to get into the last topic. We have not touched it yet. It's already an hour and something into the podcast, and actually now closer to 2 hours. So we do need to cover it. We didn't cover it last week. So simultaneous releases. We wanted to talk about what do you think of the actual, what changes will it bring towards competitive One Piece?
I think it changes the way we go forward with our meta entirely, because up until this point, outside of a couple instances where the West has gotten cards before the East, we've always followed the footsteps of the East. We've always like piggybacked off of their meta and kind of like tried to adapt to it, where like they finish out their meta, it's basically solved. We get it. We know what the best decks are already. The only things that we're really tuning are tech options. We're picking our flex spots to decide what deck we want to be good into. And I think that's really boring. The only thing that I'm like kind of concerned about with like global release lining up is like the release of promos. Japan gets promo distribution in a completely different way than we do. There have been so many cards that have just been given out in like the weekly Shonen Jump or like monthly Shonen Jump, whatever it is. But like they get them in like Jump magazines. They get cards given away at KFC and 7-Eleven. Like they get promos so much more freely than we do. I think that's going to be the biggest like depending factor on how different our metas are going to be, is that like they're just going to have promos when they're supposed to, whereas we don't get promos until 2 or 3 metas later, and that kind of really hinders us.
Yeah, I do gotta admit, like that is one of the biggest downfalls of us in general. It's like they don't tend to, yeah, print the promos as tournament wins packs until it's too late, which is a
Yep.
problem. Like us getting Roger way too late was just kind of a hindrance. It really just stunned the growth of
Yep.
that deck as a whole. Um,
Another really good example is the shoe buggy, the 7 cost buggy that makes it where your opponents, or technically makes it where 3 and 4 cost characters cannot attack. We didn't get that until OP10 pre-release, OP11 pre-release. We got it multiple formats later, whereas Japan literally had it in OP09. Buggy was a really good deck in Japan in OP09 because they had the shoe buggy. We didn't have it, Buggy was bad. And then by the time we did get it didn't bolster the deck enough to make it like viable into the meta that we already were having established.
yeah, and I mean, imagine even then it wasn't a lot of copies of the card. We ended up getting a bulk amount from, of course, the starter deck.
Yeah,
Um,
and then like the starter deck didn't even come out at like immediately at the same time. It was still like a month after we got the actual promo that we got the starter deck. So it was like you had to go to pre-release events to get that promo card, or you had to pay like $10 a copy, which is insane for a promo card. Well, it's comparatively, we've obviously had promo cards that were worth more than that, but I think any card that's given out for free should always be free. Like, I sell cards for a living. Sometimes I'll sell promos for whatever. Like, I follow the market, unfortunately. But overall, like, my viewpoint on the game and like my stance on promos, if I get a promo for free, I would rather give it out to a player that needs it for free. But like if I pay money for it, I have to make money off of it.
yeah, it's one of those things I wish promos they wish they would redo their promo system. Like
Mm-hmm.
they either put the playable cards that you would associate with promos in the actual set and yank something from that set and put it as a promo, or make promos exclusively all arts.
I think promos should just be distributed during locals. Like I think you should get, instead of a like a tournament pack that has an alt art of a card and then a winner card, just give us the promos as the tournament entry cards and then have the promos have a winner stamp on them in the same
Yeah,
sense. That way we're actually getting the promo cards when we're supposed to, versus cards that are just like popular for a deck that's being played, or sometimes they're not even popular cards. I think one of the cards in the tournament pack right now is the black 4 cost 2K counter Morley. Like, no one wants that. Even the people running Red Black Sabo or Koala weren't like, oh man, I hope I get a winner version of Morley, my vanilla 2K. Like,
yeah. So I think they do need to do a better job at that. Like where so if we know, um, they should already have they already should know what promos are coming out in the next X amount of
yeah,
months because they already
yeah,
designed the cards.
absolutely.
So they should have
Yes.
easily determined, okay, like the buggy situation, OP09. We should know that we want to have this booklooker buggy. Let's print it immediately as the promo for that set on release. So when you go to the
Yep.
tournament, you get that card immediately. Like Roger, it should have been the promo for OP13.
OP09 or OP13, yeah.
Yeah, so immediately you got your A drop Roger along with you playing Roger.
What
When it
was
comes,
even what was the promo for OP13? The pre-release promo. I don't even remember. Oh, it was an anniversary set. Never mind. It was the Luffy Sabo Ace cards. I do agree though. I think that promo cards should be like, if they were going to go about it being given out as a turn like a pre-release entry card, it should correlate with the set that it's released in. But sometimes they release more than one promo at a time. Like the Roger promo was distributed with all of the like McDonald's cards.
yeah, so I'm saying like, but even then that's fine, right? You don't have to have just one promo, right? You could have a set of 5 or whatever.
I
So
think
so like
it creates the issue of like the winner card, but I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
I mean, they could definitely target what the winner card is, but then the card that you get just for entering could be random
Yeah,
out of 5, and you pick
yeah,
whatever one you think has the most value. In this case, could have been just 8-drop Roger because you know that card is going to have more value, which is why they
yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah, I
which is
agree.
probably why they picked Girl as the last rounds, because it's going to have a lot of value because it sees play in Nami. So like not like, but then again, I don't know if when Girl was slated out to come out was it
Multiple formats ago. Like
so it was
around the time Blue Yellow Nami was released in Japan, they got it in Japan.
okay. So it was around the time of Nami. Yeah. So we should have had that as
Yeah,
our
we should have had it way sooner than we did. It hindered the deck being like if we had Girl sooner, Nami would have actually seen meta play rather than being like a fringe rogue deck that saw a little bit of play. It would have actually been more competent.
yeah. So that's probably something that they need to fix. Like that's the first thing they need to fix besides increasing the print run. Clearly, there's not
Yes.
enough print run. That should be the first priority. The second priority is figuring out how to make the promos not necessarily, not really ever being a reprint of a promo of a card. They should just the new promos that are around a new leader should be printed with that new leader. Um,
Yes.
and that would make things a lot more easier when we get to the simultaneous
Absolutely
releases.
agree.
Or, like I said, just stop printing new cards as promos. Make them
Oh yeah,
all
make the
arts.
promos all just like alt arts of cards that we already have. I
Yes.
would I'd be fine with that too. That literally would just make the promo like a collector item.
Yes.
Like, oh hey, I like this artwork more than the one I already have. I like that idea a lot. I mean that kind of eliminates what a promo is. But I guess at that point you just introduce these other cards in main sets rather than making them weird promo cards that are hard to obtain.
Fair. I'm not sure. Like, for me personally, I've had this conversation on this podcast before. I would love to have more starter decks. You could put those printer promo cards in the starter deck.
Yeah,
Um, I personally would love to have more starter decks. That's because one of my most viewed videos are on starter decks.
I
Um,
think we get enough starter decks
yes,
as someone who keeps a sealed starter deck every time one comes out.
I know,
We get enough starter
I know.
decks
I
every
was just
year.
joking. Me personally, I
But
would like it because my most view, I get like
yeah,
2,000
yeah,
views
yeah.
per video of me taking the starter base list and upgrading them for $30. People love that video, those videos. So, like, I would
I
love it,
think
but
I think starters are also a really good way to distribute the promos. Like I liked that some promo cards got reprinted in like the set of 5 decks that we got a couple times.
yeah,
Like there were a handful of promo cards that got reprinted, like the shoe buggy. That
yes,
was a really, really good way to distribute the shoe buggy. I think they should have also given out the Mihawk and the crocodile that were also supposed to be in that deck and were promos. But that we don't need to get into that.
and
We don't
the
need
and the other thing about that, I guess technically you could consider this. Another fault they did was they print the learn to play decks, but Nami didn't have young girl or girl. That could have been also been a very good way to fix that issue.
that was such a fumble. Everyone thought it was gonna have girl. Instead, it just got a non-foil version of Secret Luffy and then a bunch of like vanilla cards.
Yeah, like the only thing that's noticeable in the deck is that to get a little bit of a boost was Nico Robin. Like I when I was looking through the deck when I just opened it a few days like week or two ago, I was like, oh, I didn't know that had a 6-drop Robin in it. I just took it out and I set it
What
aside.
what 6-drop Robin?
The burn Robin.
That's not in the learn to play together deck, is it?
Yeah, I was going through it. I was like, because I was trying to construct my Luffy deck, And I was going through what cards are in this deck, and I was like, oh well, they have 4 copies of the 6-drop Burn Life Robin. I pulled them out, and I was gonna put them in my Luffy deck. So that's like
Weird.
that's
That's
nice.
like the best card that was in that deck if it was printed in there.
Yeah,
crazy.
that's that secret card. You get 4 of them in there. So
I don't. Are you sure you didn't just have a playset that
No.
got mixed in?
I
Because
opened
I'm
it up.
like you opened it fresh.
Yes, I bought it. I opened it fresh a week or 2 ago because I wanted to see if there's anything that I could have put in my new SD29 Luffy deck.
Does it have like the numbers on it? No, because only the. Is it foil?
No.
It's non-foil? Because like I'm looking on TCG Player right now, and there is not a single listing. Like, not like, oh, they're sold out. Like the card doesn't exist as a non-foil. That's wild. That's wild. I didn't know that was in the deck, and I like literally cannot find the starter, the Learn to Play Together. Oh no, it is. It's right here. Wait, ST21. Wrong one. Wrong Nami. Yeah, no, I can't even find the yellow Nami.
So yeah, it's right here.
Crazy.
So
there are no listings for it on TCG Player.
Yeah, so you get these weird ones like this Luffy. You get the unhollow Sanji, which is kind of weird since I don't think any deck plays this card. It's kind of a waste of an SR slot. I wouldn't mind seeing a deck that actually could maybe utilize him. I don't know how that would be constructed, but
I think Nami was supposed to utilize it originally. It just never did. Oh no, crazy. I did find the Learn to Play Together OP09 Robin. Weird. I literally did not know that this card got reprinted.
Yeah, she's in there. Nuts. That's like the most valuable card. The Zoro's expensive, I guess, because I'm guessing it was a promo. Yeah.
It was a promo, yeah.
Yeah, but why is he in here instead of the girl? Like, it's kind of weird.
Completely agree, dude. Why are most of the cards bricks? Or not bricks, why are most of the cards vanillas?
Well, because they want Usopp. They're going the Usopp line. I don't understand it.
Apparently. But like don't get me wrong, I know that there were people who had a little bit of success running this or like close to this deck list. It just doesn't feel good to me when you could run up like it doesn't even have Kikanojo. You're telling me it's not running Kikanojo? Get out of here.
Fair enough. And then that's a pretty cheap card.
That's a standard like that's a
card.
Pretty standard 4 of in basically every yellow deck.
Yeah, but this one surprised me.
Yeah, no, like when you said it, I literally pulled up TCG Player and I was looking like I did not know that got reprinted in the Learn to Play Together deck.
Yeah, she is the secret sauce in there. Like I've seen it. I was like, I pulled them out. I was like, okay, that's going into Luffy.
Yeah, that's cool because that card shot up in price.
Yeah.
It was like $5 a week ago.
Yeah, instead of spending that $20 on 4 copies, you could have just went and bought the $30 Learn to Play, and you would had I guess this Luffy.
I mean, realistically, you would have made your money back probably close to just off of the Cavendish.
Well, Cavendish is like $1.77 now.
Oh, it was more. Even the Learn to Play Together one was more before it like became less playable.
But yeah,
that sucks. Yeah,
it's just because no one plays it now. Mihawk is now the
thing.
So what green deck are you playing it in? So I
mean maybe Red Green Luffy or Bonnie, but neither of those are like A tier.
Yeah, you have to make them chat. Go and get down there, or a listener get down there and start building yourself a Red Green Luffy deck that's at S tier status. I know you guys have been trying since OP13s came out.
It needs the promo Robin, that we get from the Heroin Cup.
Yeah, same
That
with
like
Grape Bluefish.
gives Straw Hat, gives Straw Hat protection.
But yeah, so I think that's it, right? That's going to be our
Yeah,
updated EB03 tier list. I think this actually is a pretty good tier list. For the most part, I would definitely recommend sticking with these S and A tiers if you're planning on playing big tournaments, or maybe the upper half of B. Probably Foxy's probably the split. I would
yeah.
probably bring
Foxy's a
these.
little bit of a meme still.
Um, I don't know if I'll say it's a meme. If you're a really good
It's
Foxy pirate, by all means, take it to Nats and prove us wrong. Because a really
I
good.
hope I hope a Foxy player tops Nats. It's unfortunate because like I'm gonna win Nats, so they can't win. But like I hope they do good. I hope a Foxy player gets like top 32. That would be crazy cool.
We all know what's going to happen. It's going to be down to Anime Villain and the Foxy player, and the Foxy player is going to win the finals.
Whoa,
Just saying.
brother, what the fuck?
And you're like, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that loss to Foxy. That's like
I
the
would
most base.
actually,
That's the most base
if
leader you could lose to.
if I sit down across from Foxy in the finals of Nats, I'll just give him a handshake and tell him he's got it.
I don't think
Like that dude has that gusto.
Bandai would tolerate that though. They don't really like people
No,
giving
they
up.
don't. They don't.
They for some reason they remove that button for the concede button.
Especially on stream. The final stream of Nats. That'd be wild.
It happened one time, right? Like me and Daffy were talking about it, and one of the two people, it was like Zoro against somebody, and the one guy was clearly checked out. Like he was so zoned out, he didn't. He tried to surrender and concede, and they wouldn't allow him to, and they ended up playing the game, and it was just a horrible looking stream because he was
Damn.
clearly not there. I mean, he got second place, so props to him. He's still a real good player, but you could just tell that he was been in a grind fest.
I mean, it's absolutely exhausting running because, like, especially to make it into top 32, you run through, I think, 10 rounds day one, and then you run through like 5 best-of-3 games on day two. So it's like, it's definitely mentally exhausting because you're trying to play at your peak performance the whole time, which is a lot of like, sure, it's just a child's card game, but it's a lot of like mental gymnastics.
And that's not even including if you're actually playing an extremely high level deck, like Emu.
Yeah. Yeah. Playing like 10 rounds of Emu is probably torture, honestly.
And you can't forget about Katakuri.
Katakuri is not a hard deck to pilot. I don't think Katakuri is any like more exhausting on the brain than a regular deck. It's definitely no Emu or Crocodile
Or even Blackbeard.
or Green Yellow Law or Blackbeard. Yeah, it's no Blackbeard.
Yeah. So I get that. I was just making it. I mean, Katakuri is a little bit trickier just because you do have to know and keep a track in your brain of what actually gets revealed. You don't have the sim anymore.
Yeah, true.
So like you do have
but realistically, you just get to like 7 Dawn, you play the pudding, you play the Katakuri off of the pudding.
Yeah, that's
value.
That's good. That's a good deck. I can't wait for the starter deck. I am super excited. I'm so hyped for it. Like legitimately, that's like the most hyped.
As long as they give like good support, it should be cool.
Yeah, if they give us, I don't even know what like a 5-drop SR and maybe a 6 or 7-drop SR. I don't know if we need maybe they give us another better pudding, like a 3-drop.
The deck doesn't need another pudding. The deck desperately needs KO protection or removal protection, but I think if it got removal protection, it would be too strong. Like the thing about creating decks is that they're not trying to make it a tier 0 format. They're just trying to make decks playable.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want something to be S tier, S plus, I should say, where it's too fundamentally strong that it's broken.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I personally wouldn't be opposed if Katakuri was S plus, but
No, it's just not healthy for the game.
It's not. Yeah, I totally agree. So this has been a 2-hour podcast. We should probably close it out. Next week, we'll be certainly looking into deck lists and probably talking about some new cards. Maybe talking about how these decks actually. No, no. We're not going to talk about OB15 like that. We'll talk about the EB03 deck list, maybe some Nami, what Nami looks like after the new stuff, and Luffy, especially since he specializes in Luffy. Actually, no,
I
he won't
won't.
be here this next
I
week.
won't be here next week's podcast. Unfortunately, I will be
Recovering.
traveling back. Not even recovering. I hop on my plane at like 11 p.m. Oh my goodness, I can't. Vegas. Whatever time zone Vegas is in. So I hop
Mountain.
on my plane at 11 p.m. Vegas time, and I don't get home until noon my time Monday. So I just unfortunately will be in the air during the podcast.
Yeah, and they don't have internet unless you.
Yeah, unless I pay $25.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. The week after that, we will talk about, of course, his
Yeah,
Nats
I
experience.
will for sure be back the week after to share my Nats experience and then to jump into EB03 deck lists and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So we'll have to figure something else out for next week to make it maybe a little more fun. I don't know. Um, but until then, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.